Are AC/DC units still worth it? In this series, I'm going to teach you how to use each Chaos Space Marine unit more effectively. So, AC/DC units, what are they? Most people are a bit unsure about these units. They probably come up with it against them, but they're not 100% sure. So, we've got, this is two units in one. We've got the Accursed Cultists. We're going to look at them properly in a second, okay? And we have got the Dark Commune, okay, the character unit that is generally attached to them. So these 5 dudes here and dudettes are the Dark Commune. These guys in the background are the Accursed Cultists. So if I move these out of the way a second, and let's just focus on these because a lot of people on the battlefield get confused. So these little guys here, these are called the mutants, okay? And these big guys here are the torments. So let's have a quick little look. So the mutants and the torments have got similar profiles, okay? So the movement 6, toughness 4, 6+ base save, leadership of 7, and OC of 1, okay? Where the difference is, the mutants only have 1 wound and the torments have 3 wounds, okay? So, and then if you look at their profiles, the little guys, the mutants, have the blasphemous appendages, okay? They're getting 2 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 4, no AP, 1 damage, okay? You know, not great. So there's 10 of them, it's okay, not brilliant. But then the big damage comes from the hideous mutations, okay? You get D6+2, hitting on 4, which isn't great, strength 5, which is nice, -1 AP, and damage 2. So the big thing is they get feel no pain 6+, okay? Scouts, if you haven't got the character unit, you can use that. If you do include the character unit, you cannot use them, okay? I've trialed using them in small units with scouts, but it wasn't worth it. For an equivalent points of raptors, I just use raptors instead because they can move much faster. And you've also got the howling horde, okay? So this is basically the surge move from the same as Khorne Berserkers, which we'll get into because that's going to take a little bit of time to talk about because that can get a little bit confusing. Okay, so this profile is pretty good, but it becomes amazing when you attach these guys, okay? The Dark Commune. So Dark Commune is a character unit, okay? This again can get very confusing. So you've got the cult demigod in there, which in this case is this person here. So that's the demigod. You've got the mind witch here. You've got the icon bearer here, and then you have the commune blades, the blade bearers or whatever they're called. Okay, I always call them the blade guard for some reason. I'm not sure if that is the name, but I like calling them the blade guard. It sounds cool. So when attached to a unit, this character unit, it'll give you a 5+ invulnerable save, okay? So only when that unit is attached, and specifically when the cult demigod is attached, okay? So a good way to counter these, to get rid of that feel no pain, get rid of that, 5+ invulnerable save, which makes these so dangerous, is to kill the cult demigod, okay? And the way to counter that is to keep her hidden at the back of the unit, okay, inside the building. You've got to have line of sight for precision. If you haven't got line of sight on precision, even in combat, you cannot precision out the character. The other 4 people in her retinue, okay, so apart from her, these are not characters. So you can take these as casualties, as wounds, before you take away these, before you take away these, before you take away these, if you want to, okay. So looking back at the sheet, so going on to the weapons, okay, there's 2 auto pistols in there carried by the icon bearer and by the demigod. You've got the spell by the mind witch, which is pretty good. The warp curse, that can be pretty good, but obviously it's hazardous if you overcharge it, but it's definitely worth it. And then in combat, the blade guard have the commune blades, which are decent, AP -2, which is good. If you're on objective with Renegade Raiders, AP 3, which is nice. close combat weapon, the Mind Witch and the Icon Bearer have, and then the commune stave, which is hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get a dev wound, it's great because you get D3 wounds. Most times it's just saves, it's got no AP. They've got an icon, so they can re-roll, so the unit can re-roll dark packs, which is excellent. And you've got dark ritual, okay? So once per battle, in your command phase, so you have to declare it in your command phase. If you've still got the cult demigod in there, which again means she's a very important model, you can use the ability, okay? So if you do, until the end of the turn, you can declare a charge in a turn which make an advance. So basically advance and charge, which is great, okay? You can advance and charge. Some of the attachments have got that anyway, but this is great, okay? So it's a free advance and charge. And then what makes it even more better is you can add one to the hit roll and add one to the wound roll. Considering these are cultists and they're hitting on 4s, that means you'll be hitting on 3s, and generally that strength 5 from the torments, you're going to be wounding things quite well. Even toughness 10 vehicles, you're going to be wounding on 5s, okay? Add that to your dark packs, maybe lethals, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, especially when they're 2 damage each, okay? So the dark commune, it's very important to remember that it is the cult demigod, okay, who gives you all of these abilities and all this stuff. That is the only character in this unit, okay. On the new updated app, it will specifically say that, okay. Oh, it says it here as well. Cult demigod only character. The rest of them do not have the character keyword, so you can take them as wounds before. Because what I like to do is when I'm taking wounds, I'll take these little guys first because they don't really do much damage. Then once I've got through all of them, so that's 10 little wounds after my 5+ invulnerable save and my 6+ feel no pain, I'll then start taking out the 4 little character dudes in the unit. I generally leave the icon because that's useful for dark packs, and then once I've got the cult demigod, because obviously you can't choose to take Accursed the character, we've got the icon, and then I've got 6 torments. They're the ones that are doing the damage to torment, so as long as they're okay, these are just like a little bodyguard. These are just a little bit of extra bodyguard, and then those are the main damage dealers. These I need for the feel no pain. Sorry, not the feel no pain. The 5+ invuln and the reroll for dark pack. So these 2 are the important ones in that group. Okay. So coming back to the stat line. So like I said, these are the damage dealers. Okay, D6 + 2. If you use the ability to hit on 3, strength 5. Okay, you're Renegade Raiders. You're on a objective. That can be AP 2, and then the damage 2 is very nasty. So with this blob, I've taken out the bigger caster knights in like 2 turns of fighting. Okay, lethal hits can do wonders, and like I said, I'll be wounding them on a 5, which is brilliant. And also, if you roll well, you can get a lot of attacks with that. So coming back to this Howling Horde move, and also good thing to remember, Scout 6. Okay, if you use them without the character, you can use Scout 6 again. Hit and miss. If you get first turn, great, you can scout out and then you get an extra 6-inch move, 6 inches, move on to objective, whatever you want. But generally, if you get second turn, you're not going to be scouting them out, you're just going to be moving them back, maybe, I don't know, moving them into cover. So it's 50-50 whether that's useful or not. And then you're giving up a 5+ invulnerable, you're giving up the +1 to hit, +1 to wound. And like I say, for 90 points for a small unit, you might as well just go for Raptors, which have got 12-inch move anyway, so they can just start wherever they are and just move out, regardless of whether you get first or second turn. So coming to this here, they've changed the wording on this. They've changed the overall ruling on surge moves. Okay, you used to be able to move as many times as you wanted, but now you can only move once. So when you are shot in each phase, you can move up to 6 inches. Okay, you roll your dice. You can choose whether you want to move or not. You can move up to that amount. You can move, half that amount, whatever you want. You don't have to move the full amount. You don't have to move if you don't want to, and you can also move into combat if you want to, which can be useful. Another really important thing is you have to move towards the closest unit. Okay, so as long as this unit moves towards the closest unit, then it's fine. It doesn't mean you have to move every model towards the closest unit. Just have to move the unit. So if this is the enemy and I move like this, that is closer. The rest of the models can move wherever they want because the unit in general has moved closer. It's a little bit contentious, but it is how the rules are written. I doesn't come up that often, but it's good to make your opponent aware of that, because say you've got a unit over here, a unit over here, so as long as it gets close to this one, it could also move into this one as well. So that can be annoying, especially if the midboard. I generally at the moment run 3 blobs of these because they are insane. They are brilliant. They are excellent. Some armies just cannot deal with them. Some armies, it will take one turn of their full army to deal with them. Some things like custodians will just tear through them. So, you know, they can win you the game on their own. If not, they'll just hold things up, gun things up. They can block up those 3 objectives. They can do a lot of damage. Like I said, they can take out big knights. These are excellent. These are my favourite unit. I love the models. I love how they play. Yes, they're quite costly for points, but I think they're definitely worthwhile. And I'd say if you're going to go for it, I'd maybe include 2 units, because 1 unit can just be focused down and can be taken out, whereas if they do that with 1 unit, you've still got another unit that can cause problems, even if 1 unit does get destroyed after a turn or so. If you use them clever, you can do a lot of damage with them. The main thing is with these guys is making sure you time that advance and charge, because you only get it once and you have to declare it in your command phase. So make sure you're thinking carefully about what you want to do that turn. Make sure you're measuring it up. Make sure you're playing the odds so that you do actually make your charge. So if you've got any comments about the AC/DC brick, or even just about the Dark Commune on their own, or the Accursed Cultists, then feel free to ask in the comments. And one final thing to say, the Dark Commune is not restricted just to joining Accursed Cultists. They can also join regular cultists, and yeah, but again, I've never ran them like that. It would just mean that you're giving the cultists a 5+ invulnerable save, when really you don't want to be buffing a 100 point or 50 point unit, depending on how you run them. So for me, it's not really that worthwhile. You can also put Dark Apostle in with these guys, so it gives them +1 to wound. That can be pretty good, but then you lose your 5+ invuln. So it depends how you wanna run them. You might want to use them, start off in off the board, rapid ingress them so that they're behind cover, and then they can make a charge onto a target next turn with that +1 to wound. Again, that can be very nasty, especially with lethal hits and sustained. So yeah, let me know what you think of this unit. Add it in the comments below.